Hey guys, thanks for taking a look at my presentation. I just wanted to give you a little background before we get into the meat of things. For my project, I essentially looked at Microsoft MediaRoom, which is a back-end software product that a lot of companies, both large and small, are using for their IP video networks. And, I've worked in telecommunications for 11 years now, and I've only recently started to hear about it. I work for a smaller telecom company, so perhaps in sort of the Bell Verizon kind of world, this product is better known. But I found it really interesting, and I hope you do too. Microsoft MediaRoom is a software product that's sold by Microsoft that is designed to take care of the back-end side of an IPTV network and is geared towards generally larger carriers, although it's been gaining some acceptance among the smaller carriers within the past year or two. So where does MediaRoom fit within the IPTV model? IPTV networks, of course, are complex due to both the large number of software services that are running on them, as well as the quality of service limitations that we have once we get out into the field. Essentially, MediaRoom is a one-stop back-end solution that takes care of all the servers and security, as well as providing software for set-top boxes and an API where providers can go and add their own add-ons to the platform itself. It's designed also to leverage Microsoft's existing platforms, the PC and the Xbox, and now somewhat Windows Phone in terms of remote access. And it's based on the idea that a cloud of video services would be a smarter solution the way the cloud works well for, say, something like Gmail or all of Google's services these days. So who's using this product? AT&T is probably the most well-known user of MediaRoom, and they use it to power their UVerse service that we've probably all seen advertised for the last couple of years. CenturyLink offers a similar service called Prism. They're the number 3 largest telecom now after their recent acquisition of Quest. Telus uses it as well. ACS, which you've probably never heard of, which is a smaller telecom in Minnesota, is a good example of how MediaRoom can scale down and work for even a fairly small company. They also have a number of international partners like Bell Canada and Swisscom in Switzerland. They do have a full list of all their partners on their website, and the link is included there if you're interested in seeing it. MediaRoom has actually been around for longer than I initially suspected. It's the most recent in a line of television products Microsoft started back in the 2000s when they formed the TV division of Microsoft. And the first major thing they did was called Ultimate TV, which was a DVR that got resold by a number of DBS satellite providers, and then was eventually removed from the market back in 2003. In 2003, they released the Foundation edition of Microsoft TV, which was a video-on-demand platform designed for streaming services and that kind of thing. In 2005, the IPTV edition, which was essentially the same thing, was released, and it got support by the Xbox in 2007. And then in 2007, the IPTV edition of Microsoft TV was rebranded MediaRoom, and that's where we are today. When they built MediaRoom, Microsoft decided to go with a modular application so that the various pieces of it could either reside on one server or multiple servers, depending on the particular deployment. And they used a number of servers that we've probably all been familiar with. Windows Server, of course, the 03 and 08 version are compatible with MediaRoom in its current state. IIS, which has been Microsoft's web server for a number of years. SQL Server, which handles all the database type functions. Active Directory is also used for a lot of the authentication. And because it's such a modular design, these services can either run on a single server or on multiple servers, or it can actually run on clusters of servers, depending on how big your deployment is and how much failure protection you want. So what makes MediaRoom better than the competition and better than traditional television? For starters, it has real-time interactivity, so that if you're watching a sporting event, you can pull up statistics, or you can have a television poll on the news and you could vote in real time. It also has an unlimited number of channels because of its video-on-demand pedigree, where you can put almost any type of content onto the MediaRoom system and treat it like a channel. Multi-view is another popular feature where you can watch multiple programs at once. Essentially, it's like picture-in-picture, but you can use as many video streams as MediaRoom will accommodate. Whole home DVR has been popularized a lot with the Uverse service, and it's still one of the major reasons people tend to go with these types of platforms. Media sharing exists as well, although in secured formats, as Microsoft has invested heavily into DRM technologies. And of course, as I mentioned before, providers can develop their own application, and the system also has enhanced security because of the heavy use of DRM. A product like MediaRoom is really only as good as the carriers that purchase it and the response of their customers to the product once it's out in the world. Due to its scalability and also the heavy investment in other Microsoft services, such as Active Directory and Microsoft Server, a number of telcos have seen MediaRoom as their best option because it fits into that framework and Microsoft is a vendor that they're already familiar with. The product has received a lot of positive technical reviews because of the services like Whole Home DVR that it offers over what's currently available from DBS and cable providers. It's also been seen as a good move by many telcos because of the API framework, where they can essentially incorporate any over-the-top content that they want into their video platform, so the customers, stay with their video platform rather than using an additional box for something like Netflix or, just streaming movies in general. I just wanted to provide some additional links that you guys can check out if you're interested in more information on MediaRoom. We have Microsoft's main site there initially, and secondarily their new site, which is basically a PR site for MediaRoom and all the cool things it's doing. There's also a somewhat brief Wikipedia article that has some interesting notes about the history of MediaRoom and Microsoft Television in general. And then there was a recent review back in 2008 of Microsoft's original MediaRoom release, which does a good job in comparing MediaRoom to the cable and satellite options that were available at the time. Well, that concludes my presentation on MediaRoom. I hope you guys all found it interesting. It's a kind of software package all of us are going to be seeing either now or in the future as IPTV becomes a bigger part of our business. Because, our separate voice and data networks are going away and we're all migrating onto one big friendly IP network with a number of these services. Any questions about this presentation or anything you think I should add, feel free to drop me a line on discussion board, and I hope you guys have a good day.